Hi everyone, hope you are all understood my previous classes. Now we are going to see regarding the research design. Already we have discussed the steps of research process. In that, the first step it is the research problem, identification of research problem. In the previous class we have discussed regarding the research problem and what are the sources and how we have to state the problem. Now today's class it is regarding the research design. Okay, what do you think about the research design? When the word design, what it comes on our mind? So if you want to build a house, so first we will be making a plan or we will design the house. Okay, same way when we are doing the research study, we should have a plan or the design. Okay, so the design it is a arrangement of condition for collection, analysis of collection and analysis of data in a manner that aims to combine relevance to the research purpose with economy in procedure. That is, our plan, research problem, after selecting the research problem, we have to put it into the action, how the problem has to be carried out and in what way we are going to observe the changes in that particular problem. Okay, so that is the arrangement of conditions for collection and analysis of data. Okay, that is called that research design. There is a arrangement how we are going to proceed with the problem, that is called that design. Whatever, if we want to do any work, before the hand we will be making a plan of action. We have to make a plan of action, then only we can able to do the work in a systematic way. That is called that design, making a plan for doing the work. Okay, that is called that design. In another way, the research design is the conceptual structure within which the research is conducted, in which range we are going to conduct the research. It constitutes the blueprint for the collection, measurement and analysis of data. Research design, otherwise it is called as a blueprint for doing the activity. Okay, and the next it is research design is the researcher's overall plan for answering the research question or testing the research hypothesis. Okay, then research design is a plan of how, when and where data are to be collected and analyzed. Okay, otherwise we can say it is a master plan to the specific activity we are going to do to get the solution, to get the answer for the question. Already we have stated that problem statement. For that we have to identify the answer. So the plan to identify the answer. Okay, so the research design, otherwise known as a blueprint or master plan, to specify the methods and procedures for collecting and analyzing the needed information for a research study. Okay, as a definition, research design can be defined as a blueprint to conduct a research study which involves the description of research approach, study setting, sampling size, sampling technique, tool and methods of data collection and analysis to answer specific research question or for testing research hypothesis. Okay, in simple way it is a blueprint. Okay, so in what approach we are using to do a study and what is the sample we have to select and what method we are going to use to analyze the data, how we are going to interpret and coming to the conclusion to test the research hypothesis, that is the research design. Okay, these are regarding the research design. Okay, before going to the going in detail about the research design, we have to understand some of the technical terms or the terminologies related with the research design. Okay, so first one, it is the dependent and independent variable. Dependent and independent variable. So from the word itself we can understand that dependent and independent variable. So first it is a meaning, it is a variables. So what it means that variables? Variables means always it is varying. It is a varying. So a concept which can take in different quantitative value is called variable. As such, the concepts like weight, height, income are the examples of the variables. Sometimes the qualitative phenomena can be quantified, that also called as a variable or attributes. Okay, so there is a example for the dependent and independent variable, that is the if one variable depends upon another one, it is known as the dependent variable. The action it is taking place due to the dependent variable, that is called the independent variable. Okay, so for example, it is height depends upon age. Height depends upon age. Height, it is related to the age. Here the height is a dependent variable. Height is a dependent variable. Dependent variable. Age is a independent variable. So when the age it increases, when the age grows, the height will be getting increased. So there is a relationship between the independent and dependent variable. The independent variable is not changing. Okay, the height, it is the usual one, it will increase. Every year it goes, it will increase. Okay, so when the age is growing, the height also will grow. In certain age, it will get limit. So we are saying that the height depends upon the age. Okay, so here the independent variable, it is the age, and the dependent variable is the height. Okay, so here another example. In the problem statement I have coded already, the water contamination will cause the disease. Okay, diarrheal diseases. Here the effect, cause and effect. Cause and effect. Okay, so here the cause is the independent variable. Effect is the dependent variable. Because of this, the effect is taking place. Okay, so you may be understanding this cause and effect relationship. Here we can understand, because of the cause there is an effect taking place on the people. Okay, so due to the water contamination, the people will be getting the diarrheal diseases. Okay, so here the independent variable, it is the water contamination. Due to the water contamination, the effect on the health, it is the diarrheal disease. So it is the dependent. So this variable is depending on the cause. So that's why it is called as a dependent variable. Independent, it is the cause, and the dependent, because of this the people will be developing the health effects or the ill effects. Okay, so that is the independent and the dependent variable. That is the first terminology, dependent and independent variables. Next one, extraneous variable. Extraneous variable means it will influence the independent variable and the dependent variable. Independent variables that are not related to the purpose of study but may affect the dependent variable are termed as a extraneous variable. See, in the study, see for example, what I have coded, that is water contamination will be causing the diarrheal diseases. Okay, that is the here the cause it is the water contamination, effect is the diarrheal disease. But maybe if the person is consuming the decayed food, that also can lead to diarrheal disease. So that decayed food will be acting as an extraneous variable. Are you understanding? So other than the independent variable, it will be causing the effect on the dependent variable. That is called that extraneous variable. So the extraneous variable always we can't able to control. Okay. So you understood regarding the extraneous variable. Next, it is the next terminology. Okay. Other terminology, control. Control in the sense, so what we have seen in this extraneous variable, other than the dependent variable, some variable will be causing the influences and it causes the effect, the dependent variable. It causes the effect on the dependent variable. Okay. So here the control means we are controlling the extraneous variables. When we want to analyze only the water contamination, the water contamination is causing the diarrheal disease. Here the food problems also will be causing the diarrheal diseases. So what we are doing, the food problems, the person who is getting the diarrheal disease related with the food, it will be controlled. We will not be analyzing the food problem, only the water contamination and related with the diarrheal disease. So here the control, other extraneous variable is controlled. Understood? So what are the terminologies we have seen? Independent and the dependent variable, and the extraneous variable, and the control. Next it comes the confounded relationship. Confounded relationship, when the dependent variable is not free from the influence of extraneous variable, the relationship between the dependent and independent variable is said to be confounded by an extraneous variable. It will show the influences on the dependent variable. That is called that confounded relationship. Okay, the research hypothesis. Next one, it is the research hypothesis. It is the prediction. When we are stating the problem, we are making a tentative solution. That is called that research hypothesis. Next terminology, it is the experimental and non-experimental hypothesis testing research. That is what the tentative solution we are making, that can be tested in the experimental approach or in the non-experimental approach. That is called that hypothesis testing research. It may be in the form of experimental or it may be in the form of non-experimental. In another one, experimental and the control group. Here see the terms, what the manipulation we are doing on a particular group, that group is called that experimental group. The control group will not be as such, as a natural way the group will be compared. That is called that controlled. There is a control. If the control group is present only, we can able to compare the experiment and what is the effect it is taking place. What is the effect it is taking place? Okay, it is the experimental and control group. And the next one, treatment. So when we are taking the treatment in the sense, for the experimental group we are manipulating the independent variable. That is called the treatments. Okay, treatment. And the experiment, we all know that the manipulation is taking place on the particular group of people. That is called that experiment. Then the last one, it is the experimental unit. Okay, so if we want to test the effectiveness on the drug, so the drug will be introduced in particular group of people or particular selected samples. That is called that experimental units. These are all the terminologies before entering into the research design. Okay, so we'll see in the next class.